Well. It's been a while, ladies. Well. Today we want to start talking about who are the victims of abuse.
Audio Jungle.
Well. It's been a while, ladies. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah. So, what have you guys been up to?
Not much, just ministry, family. That's it.
It has been a very busy year. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't realize how we got to October. I remember the last time we're here was February.
I believe
I
so.
believe it was February or March, around then. And here we are in October. Welcome to fall.
Right? It's actually my favorite season.
Of
'cause I'm
course,
an
your
October
birthday.
baby,
Hey.
so.
Awesome. Well, welcome to you. We are so excited to come back to your sitting room, your car, your plane, your wherever you are. We are so excited that we find ourselves with you one more time. My name is Isabella, and welcome to Sound Mind. Today, we are here starting a beautiful conversation, and we are going to bring you in, and we hope that you are here to join in, participate. Please put your note down, your comment down, questions down. If there's anything that you think we should answer, we'll come back to you on that. And if there's anything that you want to contribute, we want to hear your voice. So please, let's do this together, because somebody's life depends on these conversations.
That's right.
But of course, I'm not here alone. I'm here with my girlfriends. And on my right, I have Sister Rhoda.
Hi.
And then I have here our sister Laurieanne.
Hello.
Awesome. Well. Today we want to start talking about who are the victims of abuse. It's the greatest question that most times it is hard to understand. Is it just the person who is receiving the abuse, or is there somebody else that is a victim of abuse? So I will go right away and let's have this chat together, my dears, and tell me, in your point of view, who is the victim of abuse?
Well, on the forefront, it would appear that the person receiving the abuse is the only victim. However, if that person has children, the children are also a victim. The other family members are also victims, especially like if they witness it or are aware of it, they also become victims as well. So it's bigger than just the person actually being abused. It affects everybody connected to that person.
Yeah, I believe you're so right. And in your point of view, who are these people when we talk about the abused and people victims of intimate partner abuse? Who are they?
Well, I was thinking here, what description can I give? Is there physical type? But I'm thinking more of the demographics. If you look at statistics, it says women are usually the primary victims of abuse. Though it can be men, though it can be children, but statistically women. And we know that on the flip side, the abusers of IPV are usually the husbands. But there can be instances where it's the other way around. But if we're looking just on, the mathematical edge and, what's going on in our society, I would say women. Yeah.
I was looking at few statistics from Statistics Canada in regard to the last census that was done about the age group that people go through abuse. And it was startling to me to see that about women, when we focus about women, starting from age 15, there are people in their teenage years who are being abused by their intimate partners. So we're talking about high school students. We're talking about young boys in school that are already taking control and abusing their partners. And the question comes to me like, where do they pick these behaviors from? How come it feels somebody so young, 15, 16, 17-year-old young boy, feels that it is right for them to have control over another person. And just because they are in a relationship with them, they have to abuse them in a way or the other. It is mind-blowing. It is true, there are many men who are also abused according to the statistics. And one of the things that makes it very difficult to have data on men being abused is most of the time they are ashamed. Men are very ashamed to come out and report. A man will not go to the police or call the police if the wife is abusing them. They won't call the police to the house and say, my wife is abusing me. No, it's never happened. And that is one of the reasons why we don't have a lot of data in regard to men going through abuse. But I have colleague men that have confided privately with me that in their previous relationship they were being abused. So there are a big demographic of people who are being abused, and it does not stop at one ethnicity, like all ethnicities. Now we are from the Black community, so obviously we have our experiences and our knowledge about the Black community. But if you read a little bit, and even in movies, see, no ethnicity is exempted from this. So abuse, intimate partner violence, unfortunately, could be right before you. Every 3 to 5 couples you meet, unfortunately, about 2 of them are suffering from intimate partner violence. And it is not something that you can easily just detect and say, come on, let me help you out of it. So we have to be sensitive and be open to have these conversations that bring awareness and help us to understand what are the signs that we'll see in people for us to know that this person might be going through it.
You said, it's not easy to detect, and it's also not easy to ignore once you've become aware of it. And this is why I say the victim is bigger than just that person, because when you're aware of it, it's like you want to do something. You want to help that person. You want to intervene somehow. So it's just as difficult to ignore it once you're aware. And I don't think it's something that should be ignored. I think, with applying wisdom and doing your research and knowing what resources are available before you get involved, it's important to know that.
Yes.
I think also, it's very hard, like you said earlier, it's hard for men to speak up. It's very difficult for women to speak up too, because a lot of women are ashamed, embarrassed, or feel like, it's just them, right?
Yeah.
Or if they say something, they'll be judged, So creating a safe space for that person to be able to open up, like they have to be able to trust somebody. And a lot of it is fear, like they're terrified. If I say something to somebody and the abuser finds out, he could kill me, and all these things, right? So just minimizing the fear and creating a safe space for that person to open up. And a lot of things you can look out for. Some people isolate themselves. They avoid, social events, like
attention.
Exactly. Or they're just very I would say reserved, shy, kind of timid, so you can tell sometimes by a person's character. They try to sometimes even disguise their appearance, so there are visible things that you can see, but there's a deeper part that we can't always see, and that's the emotional side, right? And that's harder to detect. So it's very tricky, but there are ways, and if you really know a person, you can sense it, or you can pick up on it. Right.
Whilst we're talking, something came to my mind when you said sometimes you mask it. Something came to my mind how well I used to mask mine. And I remember that the day that I finally took the step to walk out. And I think weeks after, I met my babysitter who was taking care of my baby at the time. Because then, of course, once you step out, you vanish for a little while from everybody, and everybody's kind of looking for you. So once I came back into community and she got to know what had happened, she's like, Isabella, you are dangerous. I'm like, why? It's like, you came here that Friday, because I think I left the Sunday. But the Friday I was at the babysitter to pick with my partner. And so we were there, we picked the baby, and it's like, you were here standing here, you had a smile on, you were looking loving towards him, you even gave him a kiss, I remember she said. And it's like, and all that was going on, are you serious? That to say that sometimes somebody will be hyper affectionate in public.
Like everything is perfect.
Everything is perfect. We want to paint this picture of picture perfect family, picture perfect relationship, and you dying inside. As soon as you get out of the public eye, then you're scared, you get back in. But outside, you put. So yes, some people pull in, but you got to watch those who are hyper happy. Hyper happy in their relationship. I'm not saying that every relationship that is happy has a problem. Please, let us not blanket statement here, but I'm just saying that in my case, that was my situation. A lot of people were shocked when they heard what was going on, aside from those who have seen, have realized, and they couldn't say nothing about it. But those who were a little far, they could just see us every now and then. They thought we were the perfect picture of a family, young family. Anything come to mind for you?
Yeah, when we're talking about, who could be the potential victims of abuse, I thought about, children in households. Maybe one parent is the abuser and the other parent is the abused. And, how would you then look at a child and know maybe something is going on? And I think of Laurieanne and myself. I mean, outside of here, we also do teach children, and we've gone through awareness training just to see some signs of something is going on in a child's life. And usually it's behaviors. You start to see maybe they start to inappropriate behaviors, maybe the way they interact with toys, violence towards toys, mates. Sometimes they'll just come out and say, children don't have filters. But, you will get to know a lot by just watching and observing, especially if you're somebody who works with children. They might be able to tell you more about what's going on at home or the effects it's having on them. So behavioral things in children are signs to look out for of abuse.
I wanted to piggyback on what you're saying to mention the fact that this year, our annual conference, this year in Mississauga, we are going to be focusing on children of abuse. So we want to deal with the adult children of abuse. So the long-term effect of a child who live in that situation, the situation Sister Rhoda just mentioned, they grow up. Maybe they were never really the victims themselves, but they just observe that, that violence happening. What happened to them? And we're going to have psychologists come in who deal with these things on a daily basis to kind of educate us and understand the long-term effect that can have on a person just by being in a household like that. Because Laurieanne, we have some experiences to know that sometimes a lot of people choose to stay in the abuse for the sake of the children. Oh, I don't want to quit my marriage because if I leave the marriage, then my children will grow up in a single household, and I don't want to be a single mom. I don't want to be a single dad, and so I will just endure for the sake of the children. But by doing that, what are you doing to your child? That's the question that I want us to ask ourselves this year in this summit. What are we doing to these children who have to watch us go through that? Are we helping their mental health? Are we helping their emotional stability? Are we helping them to be able to make wise choices when they are adult, or we are teaching them to accept what is not right? That's what we're going to deal with. So please don't miss this year's conference at 6731 Columbus Road in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Should you be outside and you want to come, we will be very happy to have you here. And I also want to invite you to know that if you have a story, if you happen to go through that from childhood, we want to hear you. We want to hear you telling us what effect that had in your life as you grew. What happened to you? Tell us. I want to hear successful stories, because some of us, we are talking about this because we've been through it and we have come out on the other side successfully. We want to help other people to come out of it. So we want to hear success stories, what you did to be where you are. And there are people who are still struggling. So let's help people get out of these mud of life that it's like heavy on you cannot get rid of. Let's give some people wisdom, direction, what to do. So I can't wait to see you. Join in either in person or online. We're going to make sure that you can participate. So please make it a point. You want to give a little more information about our contacts and our... I don't want to mess it up. I want to mess it up.
Yes, so we do have a direct email for anything you want to share privately with us, which is sound.mind345@gmail.com. And then we have our public social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram at sound_mind_ca. And we're on Facebook also. You can type in Sound Mind and we should come up. And also interact with us in the comment section. Leave your feedback, anything that you want to share publicly with us, and we will address them as well. And please subscribe, like, and share. Awesome.
That was so great. I always love when we have these conversations, ladies, and I hope that you are enjoying this conversation. I pray that they are helping you to get out of the mud, to take a step. Wisdom comes by a lot of counsel. And I hope this is one of the counsels that you are taking that will help you to one day get out of that place that you are stuck in. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Have yourself an awesome and a sound week. Bye.